Hello and welcome to the garden. This is just a quick video about the pruning of the cordon apples and pears here. Winter before last, I put out a video about how to do the winter pruning of these. There's also one about the summer pruning. But the winter pruning video, it was kind of two different jobs. On the pears, it was the annual maintenance, and on the apples, it was something a lot more drastic. If I show you one of the pears here, so this I think is a reasonable example of a cordon pear. So this will put on huge growth during the summer now, and the summer pruning will involve cutting these back, the new growth, to just one bud past the basal cluster. That's the general rule for growth that's not coming from the main stem. But this is a reasonable example of the sort of spur pruning and maintenance that one ought to do on a pear or apple, whether it's a cordon or any other sort of espalier. It doesn't matter, they're pruned in essentially the same way. But all of this growth is, well, I think most of it's within a foot or so of the main trunk. Now, the apples had gone completely nuts, and it wasn't this nice compact growth that I've got here. So in that previous winter pruning video, I cut these apples hard back because they'd grown all the way out here. It was bad pruning on my part, but if you neglect it slightly just for one season, it can all get out of hand. And what fruit buds we did have, they were out here, and the whole thing was overcrowded and a bit of a mess. Now, these apples don't grow quite as well as the pears, and that's because they're in the wrong orientation. So the pears are running pretty much north to south, and these are running east to west. This is not ideal. If you have the chance, orienting them north to south, that is better. It's better because of the light, so there's a shaded side on this tree, and that's not so good. This was done for practical reasons, for the layout of the garden, so I decided to live with this one in the wrong sort of orientation. But anyway, these had become quite overgrown and were in a bit of a state. So in that video, I cut these right back, and of course in doing so I removed most of the fruit buds that were present. Not all of them, but the majority. And so there was very little fruit last year. We had lots of regrowth, and that was all then pruned back during the summer, quite hard again, only to that, trying to follow that rule of maybe one bud past the basal cluster on all of that regrowth. And now that work has really paid off. This one in particular is absolutely smothered in flowers, and that's great to see. Hopefully that will turn into a plentiful harvest later in the year. But this is as a result of that winter pruning and then the subsequent maintenance. What we've got now is a tree that's a lot more compact. Once again, the majority of this growth is within 12 inches or so of that main trunk, and the fruit, it's not going to be shaded, and it's not in horrible places, and the tree's not out here in the path getting in our way. So the main point here really is that when a tree has gone slightly wrong, and it often happens, one should not be afraid to take reasonably drastic action. I mean, you don't want to cut the tree back to nothing, but you can prune a tree like this pretty hard, and then if you manage the regrowth appropriately, you can restore an unproductive and unruly specimen to a much better structure, much more productive and a lot tidier. So it's always worth taking a look at a tree that's looking a little bit sad and neglected, a bit out of control, and thinking about making some structural changes like I've done here. This looks to be pretty successful, so I am very happy with these trees now. So anyway, that is all I wanted to cover in this video. I just wanted to give you a look at these trees now and show you that process that I followed in that original winter pruning video has done its job, and these trees are, well, they're not in perfect condition yet, but over the coming year or two I will continue to work on these, and hopefully they will be in really good shape for the future. But this, at least now, it's a lot tidier and it's a lot more productive. Anyway, that is all for this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and bye for now.